Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe. What is up? YouTube, it's your boy Pizza Maker 8000 back with another video for you guys. Now today I am doing a podcast with Broadway Pixels himself. We're going to be going over a lot of different things, including the Tooniversal thing. But before we start, I want to go in and say welcome, Broadway, to the podcast.
Hello, what's up?
Alright, first things first, man, I want to say congratulations on having your daughter, yo.
Yes, she's the best thing in the world, so I mean, that we'll go more in detail, but that's the majority of,
Alright, well, good. I'm happy for you, bro. So, first question first, you already know what we got to ask, yo. What was your decision in quitting and or stepping down from Tooniversal entirely?
Well, I guess I could say 90% of it is my daughter. That's just right off the bat. Tackling my two jobs right now, and then tackling my other projects, which I had to cut back on those, and then of course tackling Tooniversal. It had to become a decision where it's like, okay, do I have to put my two jobs to help support my daughter, my family, or do I put my projects there? And I'm obviously at the end of the day, I have to choose my family. But that's 90% of the reason. I'd say the other percent of the reason is, I don't know. I guess I'm the more older I'm getting, just the more I don't know. The community has its good and bads, as just any other community.
Oh no, it has a lot of bad.
I'm just saying that into the nicest way possible, because like I said, I'm not trying to say like the community is the worst in the world. It's just there's been so many things that's been going on, and it's just drama after drama after drama. And I'm not trying to say that like Tooniversal hasn't had its drama, because obviously it has. But it's one thing after another, and it's just, I have to, put it in my perspective at the end of the day. Would I have my daughter play this game? And I have to say, unfortunately, I don't think I would. And now if I would have her play the game, I'd probably have her play like an offline sort of thing, like either Toontown offline or just simply a offline version, because I kind of feel like there's just too much going on that I just don't feel comfortable with my daughter playing that if she would ever choose to it someday. But it's unfortunate because me personally, I think when TTR was the only server out there, I don't think it was nearly as dramatic and as much as it is today. And it's unfortunate, but and again, I'm not trying to point fingers. I'm not going to be that person that's saying, oh my God, this server's doing that, this person's doing that. I don't ever want to point fingers. It's kind of been so much of a stressful sort of situation. And of course, at the end of the day, like I said, 90% of it was my daughter, but I'd have to say 10% of it's just, it makes you just not want to work for a project and not put full towards of just motivation as much as, as I would.
And that's understandable, because, you and I, we don't talk all the time, but when we do, it's always like, yo, look at this, look at that. Kind of like with all the drama that goes on within the community. Just kind of like, it's just so much little shit that goes on, and, it just creates like a downfall of the game itself. More so like all the like little gnats, like a million of them, it starts to add up. You're just like, God damn, man, like this is just so annoying.
Right.
Like all these servers that just sit around and talk trash about like Toontown content creators, like Toontown like server creators like yourself, like all day in the Discord. I'm like, these people are fucking bored, yo.
Yeah, I mean it's unfortunate because it's you can't go on a game anymore, or at least I guess you can't go on Toontown and just have a good time, because I had one of my friends that tried out Toontown for literally the first time, Pride, say about 2 months ago, and it's just if somebody that doesn't play Toontown, you have to put it in your in their perspective. They've never played before. They don't know what they're walking into, and it's almost like a first impression is everything. You walk into a game, like a private server, like let's say Toontown Rewritten. Okay, and I'm not saying Toontown Rewritten is bad. I'm just kind of just saying it as just you walk into there, and then you go into like a random district. I'd say about a good chunk of the time you're going to run into somebody that just wants to, just trying to like basically be that typical troll. And I know all games have their trolls, but it was just a very uncomfortable thing for somebody that's never played Toontown before and wants to try it out, and then the first thing they see is just some very inappropriate stuff. And I know they have their filters, don't get me wrong, but I don't know. It's just more of those situations where I don't think he'd ever play Toontown again, and it's not just because he got bored of it. Okay, I know he's a person where he did get bored of it, but I think it was just more of just going into a game and it's just like it just feels like you don't. It's like you can't play your normal self. And I guess I can understand why some people just want to do a speed chat only thing because they just don't want to deal with, I guess, the drama. And it's just unfortunate because Toontown has been my childhood, and I still have high hopes for it. It's not like I'm leaving Tooniversal, I'm leaving the Toontown community. I'm never going to support it again. I just hope some. I mean, there has been goods out of this community. There's been servers that's been created. There's been Reddit things of just people discovering things and just finding things. There's been a lot of good things, and I'm not trying to say that there's all been negative, but there's been a lot of to the point where people swatted, people get, oh my god, it's just repetitive, just amount of drama, and it should never lead to that over a cartoon game, a game that that a lot of just us kids that would just used to play. And I know some adults playing, and probably a majority amount of Toontown community today is adults, but it's just a setting where if you really, it's like you're trying to create a brand new game, you're trying to showcase it to the public, and then as soon as it launches, all these trolls come on there. It's not a good impression. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not trying to say Toontown is just garbage, but I just think it's got a long way of trying to recover out of some of the fans of the community.
And that's the thing. Like if you play COD or you play like 2K or you play like Rocket League, like you have trolls, but like with Toontown,
Yeah.
I feel like it's like 60% of the community. Like it's more than half. Like with other games, you probably have like 10%, 15. Like I could play a
Yeah.
COD game, I might have one dude like dicking around, like friendly fire in hardcore mode or something like that. But as far as Toontown, I
Right.
feel like it's like majority over
It's a
everything.
it's a cartoon game. You wouldn't expect that in a cartoon game. I could expect it on Call of Duty or Fortnite or something like that, but not on like a cartoon game that you know that was originally maybe designed for kids to play. I mean, I'm not trying to say it's just for kids, but it's just a setting of that. I know a lot of my friends of my age, when they see Toontown, they're like, dude, that looks like some kind of furry game like for kids. And it's just something that I show it to a lot of my friends, and they're just like, well, dude, why are you even playing that game? And it's just, you wouldn't expect from how much is on there to just have that. It's like I said, if this was Call of Duty, if it was is something else like that, I could understand it. It's just, this is Toontown. This is a Disney's old cartoon game.
That's why like you and I both deal with it. We both pretty much got swatted. Well, I didn't get fully swatted. I'm not sure. Did you get fully swatted?
I've got threats of it. I've gotten DDoSed. I mean, I've gotten a lot of things and doxed and all that other stuff. But it's at the end of the day, it's just sort of a thing where I mean, I even to the point when I got like doxed or whatever, my phone number was pretty much blown up at 3-4 in the morning of just prank calls and and I know where it's from. I know exactly where it's from. It's from the Toontown community, and it's just unfortunate that you know like that kind of stuff happens. It's almost like we're in middle school or even elementary school, and it's just like this whole just like, oh, you took my piece of candy, you took my lunch or something like that, and I'm just like, dude, it's just, I don't know. It's like, again, I'm not trying to say like, oh my god, Toontown is the worst in the world. It's just, I just think it's definitely went downhill, and it's unfortunate because Toontown has been such, I mean, Toontown has been the longest lasting private server I've ever I don't know any other private server that's lasted this long.
Yeah.
And but at the same time, I kind of feel like it's overstaying it because I feel like it's one of those things where I've never really witnessed a private server lasted that long. And I don't know, maybe it's just overstayed its welcome where people are just acting like it's not a private server where it's going to die soon anyways and might as well just do whatever and let it die. I don't know. It's one of those situations where I really hope the community does come around because I think it definitely has a lot of its goods, but it definitely does have a good chunk of its bads. And I've moderated like Roblox before. I've worked on many different projects that I have never in Toontown in general. I've dealt with a lot of the things, and excuse my cat, but
No, you're good, bro.
like I said, I'm I wish it the best. I wish all the servers, Toontown Rewritten, Corporate Class, Offline. I wish all of them the very best. Even the previous server I worked on, I'm not dropping it completely and saying goodbye. Like I was even going to really make a public announcement about it, because it was one of those situations where everyone's going to be like, because it's not like a staff member's leaving. It's the kind of like pretty much the person that founded the
Yeah, the head
project.
honcho. Yeah.
And I know a lot of those questions are going to be, oh my God, Tooniversal must be closing, Tooniversal must be closing, Tooniversal must be closing. When the word was slowly getting out, I will tell you, I've gotten so many DMs of just saying, is Tooniversal closing? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? And I'm like, no, it's not closing. And it's one of those things where I kind of think this was definitely needed to try to get the word out there. Like, okay, yes, I am leaving, but I'm not leaving on like bad terms. It's nothing against the Tooniversal team, and I'm not even saying it's against the whole Toontown community. I mean, like I said, the 90% of it was because of my recent family, and family is always going to come first. There is no if, ands, or buts. But I have to, I can't say 100% because that wouldn't be fair. It's literally 10% of just what I, just kind of just been around, and it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. And I just hope definitely, because like I said, I know the community has done a lot of good things out of it, and I hope it. I do hope it lasts. I really do, but I guess we'll just see how the future holds for it.
And going back to the DDoS thing, we both dealt with that. I don't know, man. To me, when it happened to me, I kind of took a step back. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, are people really that mad that I said something about Toontown Written to like go online and do X, Y, and Z and get my phone number and my name and my family's name and address? And I'm like, yo, I'm like, people are fucking weird, yo. Like, I don't know, man. That to me, that was just so unexpected. That was the last thing I would have ever thought to come out of like me making videos, just like talking about Toontown Written. The last thing I would have ever thought was for someone to come out and like go into this. It wasn't even my Discord. It was some other Discord. I was like in. I was in a bunch of Toontown Discords, and some dude just pings me, and he like says my name, my last name. He says my address and shit. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, and then like I message him, and then like I don't know. I can't even know the dude's name, but I don't know. To me, I was just like, wow. I was like, that's I don't know. That's crazy to me that happens. Like I'm not even that big. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not even that big in the Toontown
I mean,
community.
I definitely think you've grown a lot. I definitely think that I remember when you had maybe like not as many views as you do now. So I definitely think you've grown. But yeah, I just don't understand. It's like they go for the small people, they go for the big people. It's just like kind of PewDiePie. He definitely has his hates, but we have to keep in mind PewDiePie is like the most popular YouTuber anywhere that I would ever imagine, and it's just this is Toontown. I mean, none of my friends really knew what Toontown was until I told them about it. So it's more of those things where I mean, there's definitely a good chunk of people, I guess, that know about it, but it's not like in every question you're going to walk up to somebody and say, do you know Toontown? They're like, probably not. But if you ask them, do you know who PewDiePie is or Mr. Beast? Then the majority of the answer is going to be obviously, yeah, they would.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't know, man. I thought that was crazy. But we'll move on from that. We'll go on to the next topic. So my question is, since you are stepping down, who's taking your spot? The Tooniversal, are they still gonna have new content coming? Is it still gonna be worked on? How's all that shit gonna play out?
Yes. So Devious, I mean, I guess a lot of people already know, but Devious has kind of been really hard working in the background, making sure everything's, getting done and whatnot. And there is some things being worked on right now. I did post a spoiler in the Discord. Basically what's happening right now. I won't go too much into spoiling, but I will say bowling is being worked on as we speak. Uh, doing it. I have a honeydew list of just stuff that I would literally, really like done before my like full departure. And I will have to say, chat log, we did close off some of the playgrounds, and this is going to be coming up in the next update. We closed off some of the playgrounds to kind of redo them, make sure that they're, more of a, I guess, actual playground, not kind of, I guess, half-assed sort of things. And I just, like, there's definitely been some things that's been worked on, and there's been a lot of great progress that's been on that. I have to say, I'm really proud of some of the staff members that have been kind of working on that. And I will say, within the next couple probably days or so, we should definitely be seeing some nice changes to Tooniversal, and I'm glad things are definitely going into the right direction now. And I know, I know a lot of people saying about our Reddit ban and whatnot, and I have to say we did kind of go back and forth with some of the Reddit moderators, and I'm happy to say now that that our Tooniversal will be unbanned off the Reddit. So I mean, that's definitely another step in the right direction. But I definitely think there's a lot of stuff that's to be done. But I definitely believe, because we are hiring some new people and just trying to get it back in the right track. I know a lot of the lack of progress was from lack of staff members, and that's kind of the big struggle. And I can say this, not trying to compare, but I can say this because I have a business and I'm trying to hire some people right now. And just with the whole pandemic, it's kind of really struggling. And I'm not trying to say that as like, oh, that's the excuse for Tooniversal, but it's one of those situations. So like I said, it's not like your average person. You can just say, hey, you want to work on Toontown and I'm not paying you, but you want to work for free. And that's kind of a difficult sort of thing to kind of find. And it's just, I know we slowly are trying to get back into that. But I definitely think that's something that, was kind of a big part in that. But no, there's definitely been a lot of progress since then. And like I said, just because I'm leaving, it is not closing. I will say that right now. There is no plans of that closing. I'm going to still be helping with supporting the servers and whatnot. But obviously that will be transferring over to DBS. But for the time being, I'm going to be helping. And anyway, it's like, I don't want to leave the project and say, all right, goodbye, you're on your own. Like, I don't want to be like that kind of person. I want to make sure when I leave, everything's taken care of, everything's transferred as it's supposed to be. And that I can comfortably leave and know it's taken care of. So it's definitely been a smooth transition so far, but I just kind of want to make sure it stays that way.
Okay, okay. I have one other question. This is somebody who just joined the Discord. They commented this. This is TVS roughly what you want it to be after 5 years. Has it been out 5 years?
I don't. I've been out for like 3 to 4 years. But is the question regarding like where do you see it in 5 years?
I think it was saying like, are you happy with the progress that was done after 5 years? I guess is what they're trying to say.
Um, yeah. I definitely think it's come a long way from because Looney Town was the first project behind it, and I'm not going to say it was a complete mess, but it definitely was something that needed a lot of work, and I think it's come a long way of just working on that because of like the new colors, the new animal species, the new playgrounds, the new spin gags that are from the last of my knowledge should be just completely done now. But they're I think definitely come a long way. I definitely think so. And to kind of extend it a little bit, in 5 years, I hope to see a lot from the game. I definitely think to see press spot. I definitely think to see the spin gags completely done. If they're whatever reason are not done anytime soon, which should be. Bowling and just different whatnot that I had that we were thinking about even adding a whole different new map and everything like that, and there's definitely a lot of ideas that I had with that. And like I said, I'm not leaving the community and saying goodbye, never coming back. Like when updates happen or if Tooniversal needs my help and I need to help them with certain things, like I'll try to make some time to do that, but I can't commit as much as I try to use, or I guess as much as I used to, just because of obviously the whole recent events. And as much as I would love to, I just can't. So I'll be here to help from time to time, and I will be here to try to make some videos from time to time, but I'm not going to do nearly as much as what I used to. So I might come to Toontown every maybe like once a month or so and say, hello, how you doing? But that's going to be about it.
Hmm. Okay, so now that you're stepping down, I know servers aren't free. Of course, have to be paid for. You're still going to be funding it, or are you stepping away from it entirely into that aspect?
If it goes to the point where, for whatever reason, DVS cannot fund it, and it's going down to the point where it's going to either like be closed because they can't fund it, then of course, then I'll help and support that because I'm not going to just let it just die and just because of that. But I don't see that happening because DVS was helping a little bit as already with it. So I can't really see that happening. But if it were for whatever reason, yes. But for the time being, I am helping part of it. So I mean, I guess for the time being, yes. But I mean, I probably would say within by the end of the year, everything should be fully just transferred and not kind of not trying to be mean, but like not my responsibility anymore.
No, 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 entirely, yeah.
But yeah, no, like I said, if it goes to that point, and I'm kind of like the same way with the other servers. Like, I don't see this happening, but if it got to the point where servers were like, "Hey, we can't afford the servers anymore. Can somebody help us?" Like, I'm trying to keep the Toontown community alive, and if that's really what it takes to keep some of the servers alive, I don't see that happening. But if it ever came to that, where emergency situation where it's like, "Hey, if we can't come out with server money, the servers are closed." I mean, then that's a different story. Like, it's like I'm not trying to like walk away from the community and say, "Oh my God, the community was the worst thing," and blah blah blah. I'm glad whatever. And like I'm here to try to help to support the community. And yeah, I'm not going to be nearly as active. That's why I stepped down. That's why I'm not going to be nearly on Toontown as much. But you know, I really hope this community can come around. I really am just I really hope more kind of content comes out from other servers, TTR updates like the field offices and corporate class with their new headquarters or whatever. Because that kind of stuff will bring me trying to make more videos and trying to make more time to do that. Because right now there hasn't been really anything exciting. So it's even if I had more time, it's like, well, what am I really going to record? Another CJ, another CFO, like the same thing over and over. It's just too repetitive. So
Yeah, I
I just
agree.
hope so. I hope more updates do happen because that'll make me motivate that maybe at night when my daughter falls asleep, I'm gonna be like, okay, maybe I'll make an hour or two sort of recording because I have done that when the smaller TTR updates came out, but I just don't see those as justifying as much as trying to get me to motivate to make more. But I mean, I have high hopes, and I do hope the community kind of keeps up because I know corporate class is trying. I know TTR is trying, but I like I said, it's kind of all. I just picture it as all talk until it actually happens. I guess.
Yeah, I agree with your statement. I made a video on that like what I think like 3 weeks ago, a month ago, and I'm like, damn, like I'm like out of content to record. I'm like I'm kind of like stuck on ideas. There's not really nothing new coming from any servers. I'm like I don't want to just upload for the sake of uploading. Like I don't want to waste my time. I was like when I look at Mega Snoop, of course he's the biggest Toontown YouTuber we have. When I look at his videos and I see that he's kind of like I don't know. It looks like he's kind of out of ideas himself. Like he did like a video. I mentioned it in my video. I can't remember what the hell he did, but he did a video like Toontown rewritten something. But like it was just videos that like he's running out of content. I feel like everybody's running out of content because there's nothing really to
Right. I mean,
create content on. So then it puts me in a predicament. So I'm like, damn. Now I'm gonna go a month without uploading, or I could sit here and just like make a bullshit video for 6 minutes. But it's like why waste my time?
right. No, I mean, I kind of think that's kind of a lot of reasons why that Smirky, Mega Snoop, and all a lot of them just don't either stream Toontown anymore or they just don't as much as they used to because pretty much a lot of the Toontown streamers out there would just stream Toontown, like including myself. We wouldn't really restream much other games. It would just be Toontown, and that's when things were active, more people were playing. But when you go in TTR, there's like what maybe 2,000, 2,500 people compared. That's more than half the population. And keep in mind, this was a few weeks ago. I don't know if things changed,
But I went
but
on. I signed on like 2 3 weeks ago, and I think the high was only like 1,100 when I was on.
okay, maybe it's yeah. It could be. Like I said, this was a while ago. I couldn't even remember how long because it's been a while. But I just like I said, I think that's why a lot of Toontown YouTubers and streamers are just not doing as much anymore because it's like, okay, yeah, we can a CJ once in a while and a VP shopping or whatever, but becomes repetitive after a while. It's like doing the same song over and over. Playing it over and over. It's just gonna become repetitive. It's like the radio. Oh my God, I cannot rant you enough about how many times I hear the same songs on the radio over and over and over. It's almost like the same thing as radio.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of it's kind of in a dry spell. I would say like as far as the community itself and how everything is going. It's just like in a dry spell. Like I don't know. I'm 100% entirely bored of Toontown. Like to the max. Like I used to at least like come home and sometimes I would stream like 2 or 3 times a week, or I'd get on and at one point I was uploading every day, and now I'm just like I log
Yeah.
on and I'll stream for like 20 minutes and I'm like this. I was like I don't even know why I did this. I'm like I'm fucking bored after like one CJ or CLO whatever the hell it is. I'm like damn I'm bored already. I'm like I don't even want to keep going. And then like I feel like they're getting less viewed too. Like my streams, that's also like a lack of motivation. Like you being a streamer, I know like if you're streaming, even though you only have 8 people, those 8 people, might mean they might be like, oh yeah, Beatsmaker streaming, but you're like, damn man, like I'm bored. I'm streaming for 8 people. My chat's not active. It's just like kind of demotivating. It makes you like not want to continue to stream or make
Right.
content.
Right, and I know some people kind of are just like, oh, don't look at your viewers, but I kind of feel like it's one of those situations where you pretty much will regardless, and because you're always looking at the chat, seeing if there's anybody active, and then you don't see anybody in the chat. It's almost like you're playing the game by yourself. It's kind of what it's like. But when you're streaming and there's chatting, it makes you more feel like, hey, I'm actually. It feels like I'm playing with other people. Unless you're on a video call or stream with somebody and you're collabing or whatever, it just makes you feel like you're playing by yourself instead of playing with like viewers and stuff.
And yeah, it becomes boring quicker. It becomes like demotivating. You're just like, like it's just like the time drags. I'm just like, all right, like I be feeling bad because like people on my Discord like we'll run a CLO and they're like, come on, let's do a office and then we can run another one. I'm just like, I'm like, I'll be
Right.
right back. And then like once I get off, I'm like, I don't want to get back on. Like I'll go to the store or something. I'm like, I'm gonna go to the store. I'll be back in like 20. And then once I get home, I'm like, there's way more better games out there to play than fucking Toontown. Like I'd rather hop on like Smite or like 2K or Call of Duty with my homies like in a PlayStation party than to be like sitting at a desk in a computer chair like streaming and all that shit. So
Yeah,
it's
no,
definitely a lot harder, man.
yeah, no, it definitely is. Because then when Toontown updates come out, they'd be like, what, like at least 1,000 some viewers on some of these like Smirky and Mega Snip and everything, and you'd see a ton of people streaming. But then when these updates are just like this, there's just kind of like, okay, it's been a while. You only see maybe like 5, 6 people streaming, maybe 20, 30 viewers at the top. It's just that update. But see, a lot of the updates they last for like maybe a few minutes, or not a few minutes. A few weeks, and then people are just like, oh, okay, it's bored. Let's move on to something else. It's more of those things. I mean, that's kind of why when at Tooniversal we were updating so periodically, because it was just really something that really motivated people. And I know that it's definitely been kind of changed, but I just kind of think people just kind of want those constant updates because it's. I know it's like one of those like quality updates over quantity updates, but it's just so those things when people like if people saw what corporate class or if let's put it in this perspective, if TTR did updates as like corporate class or Universal and just did all these kind of new changes, a lot of people would like, oh my god, and some people would be that's becoming like other servers. But I mean, like the whole new estates thing with TTR, kind of made that a little bit of a. I thought it was cool and everything, but I think just kind of think I think they're running out of sort of ideas because the estates thing. I mean, it's something that Universal had and just it was an unused. I think if I recall, it's like an unused feature in Toontown. There's like things that they're releasing like the trolley games. I mean, they were kind of neat and all, but I kind of think it just. I don't know. It just makes me kind of feel like the servers are just running out of ideas because you can only have ideas for Toontown for so long until you have to start like thinking of like, okay, what are other servers doing? What can we do that maybe makes it better? I mean, you have to kind of look at it and almost like you're like cogs. Like you see two businesses. It's like Facebook and like all the other social media. They always copy off each other.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things where you always see like, oh, Facebook has stories. Oh, okay. Well, Snapchat had them. Now Facebook has them. Oh, let's have Instagram have it. Now Twitter recently a few months ago had stories now. Like it's all just kind of niching off back each other, and I kind of think that's what I kind of think that's what Toontown's kind of doing. I think it's kind of niching off other things, and I know that's kind of been but I don't know. I like I said, I have high hopes for the server. I hope it really I hope it does last, but I don't know. I mean, I kind of think it's been overstaying its sort of welcome. I mean, it's been around for how many years now? I mean, like I said, it's the longest private server I have I played a lot of private servers, World of Warcraft, and just so many others, and I've never seen it last this long. And I don't know if that's just because maybe it's overstaying. I think that's why all this stuff's happening, and people are just getting bored. They just don't take it seriously anymore. But at the same time, I don't know. I mean, I know a lot of people try to do take it seriously, and I hope it does last for a while, and I hope things do change. But I don't know. I can't really say yes or no, and I can't really guarantee that it will, because unfortunately nobody knows what's going to happen in the future. But all I could say is I guess we'll just find out.
Yeah, I had a similar. I had another podcast. I've only podcasted with you, and I had one with Anthony Ranieri, however you say his name, and him and I did one. I talked about where do you think Toontown will survive, X amount of years, and I think he said like 4 to 10 years is what he sees for. And I was talking about the Toontown community as a whole, not like Tooniversal or Corporate Collapse or Rewritten, just
Right.
as a whole. Because I don't know, man. It seems like I don't know. It just seems like it's kind of like getting repetitive. Like less people are playing. Of course, when updates come, more people are gonna play. But like, if I were to be like a Toontown server creator, like what's that one server? ODS. Like the fact that it's still out and it only has like 8 players, 9 players. Like I don't know. That's super super demotivating to me to be like, damn, I'm paying money for a server. I'm working on updates and I'm
And
not
servers
getting
aren't.
I'm not getting the players back. I'm not getting like the recognition. I don't know. I just feel like it's super demotivating if that would be me. And just like overall, Toontown in general, like we just talked about, is all like kind of like going on a downhill. And I feel like less and less people are watching it, playing it, streaming it, etc. So who knows, man? Like hopefully when a new server has an update, it'll boost these numbers up. But as of now, like I think less and less people have become like even my Discord's become like more inactive because it's like all kind of based around Toontown, and people are like not playing as much, so people aren't talking as much and voice chatting as
Right.
much, and the whole nine. It just like
And that's
creates like
kind
a
and
slope.
that's kind of no, sorry to interrupt, but
No, no, you're
that's
good.
kind of no, that's kind of unfortunate, because I feel like a lot of my viewers as well have come from Toontown, and when I don't upload a Toontown video, it's like I get probably half of the amount of views that I would get. If it's Toontown, usually I would get 800 to 900 to 1,000, maybe even sometimes more. Because this was back, a year or two ago. But now, if I upload a Toontown video, it's maybe a couple hundred viewers, but that's about it. So I definitely
Yeah,
think it's going down, and I just like I said, I don't know. I really hope the community can kind of grow and grow stronger, but at the same time, it's like you can only go on so long. It's like almost like a human. We don't live forever. I mean, you can't only imagine a community. So
yeah. Like
I don't know.
a year ago in July, so July 2020, I was uploading every day for like 3 months straight. So from like June to August, like I had like a super big run, and my videos were getting like 600 views in like 24 hours and 800 views in 24
Oh,
hours. And then when I would upload, like I would upload every day like a Toontown video, but then I would also upload like a Star Wars Battlefront video or like a 2K video, and
right.
the 2K video would get like 60 views. The Toontown video would get like 600 views, and I was just like, God damn, the drop off is even now. Like when I
It's
upload,
like
like my
10.
videos get 300, 400, but before they used to get like 800, 900, sometimes 1,000, sometimes. I got some Toontown videos like 9,000 views, some with like 8,000. Then I have ones that only have like 300, 400, just because I feel like it's just getting watched less.
Yeah, I mean, I know. I think Anthony made a video, and I think it had like almost 100 some thousand views. I don't know. I don't. Was that the one that you guys made, or was it just him? I think it was just
That was
him.
just him. No, I didn't have none to hit 100,000.
So when I saw that, I was like, "Wait, are these numbers right?" And I'm like, "Wow." So I definitely think it has potential, but I mean, I don't. You could put as many search tags. You could put it all over. You can even pay for advertising. I don't think it's gonna help with those numbers, and it's unfortunate, but I mean, and a lot of people think I was just making videos for the money. I'm not even monetized on YouTube right now. I mean, obviously for my music, but that's a completely different ballpark. If I upload a regular Toontown video, I'm not going to get effectively squat from it. So I was just pretty much doing it out of my own time and trying to provide like content out there. So,
You don't make that much
but
as a content creator though. Like even when I was
right,
uploading every day, I mean I'm not gonna get into numbers, but when I was uploading every day for like 3 months, and I think I hit like the most I ever hit in a month was like 55,000 views. I had like I gained like 190 subscribers in like a month, and my watch time was like I don't even remember what it is now because they changed the watch time how it's auctioned off now. It used to be minutes, but and even then, like I was like, damn. I thought like when I at the end of the month when I saw like the statement, I was like, the fuck. I was like, that wasn't shit for like. I was like, damn. I put a lot of time in for that shit. Like it's not even worth it. But I don't do it like to. I'm not here to make fucking $5 on a video or whatever like that. I do it because I did enjoy doing it, but since don't enjoy it as much anymore, I don't know. I just kind of slowed down on it.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely think, though, I mean, making that kind of much, I don't think it motivates as much either because
No.
if somebody was making like a couple $100 each video or even a couple thousand, I definitely think it would motivate them a lot
Oh
more.
yeah.
But I mean, but making kind of peanuts and just just the lack of just motivation and everything. It's not really helping anything.
Yeah, well, the thing is, like, I don't know. That's how I feel about this community is just different from everybody. Like, I was talking to my buddy the other day, and he was trying to tell him, like, he's like, yeah, you don't stream or upload as much, blah, blah. And I was telling him, like, I don't know, I'm just kind of, like, bored of Toontown. And he's like, well, why don't you try streaming or, uploading other shit? I was like, I have. I was like, and that shit, your viewers only, that's the thing about Toontown community. Like, your viewers only watch Toontown. Like, if you look at Mega Snoop's videos, he uploads, like, you said what?
They won't even look at it.
No, yeah, if you watch Mega Snoop, the biggest Toontown YouTuber, he'll upload like a fucking Fortnite video. It'll get like less than 500 views in a week. But if he uploads a Toontown video, it'll get 1,000 views in less than a day. So like,
yeah,
it like even with him being the biggest YouTuber, like they just I don't know, they don't transfer over well to other genres or other types of videos besides Toontown.
Yeah. And I mean, at the same time, though, it's not going to stop me, and I'm sure it's not going to stop you or even them from making videos. I still think it's that time where if updates come out, we'll make videos. But I mean, if they don't, then there's other games out there, and it's not like I'm leaving the community. Even if I left the community, I never play Toontown again. It's one of those things where I'll still record other things. I'll still play other games and whatnot. It's obviously I can't as much now, but it's one of those things where Toontown is not the only niche out there. So there's plenty of other things that people can kind of do for ideas and content.
I agree with that one. Well, with TVS being behind you, what would you say? And I don't want to get you in trouble or nothing like that. Like not in trouble, but you know what I'm saying. Like if you don't want to answer, but how would you view other Toontown servers? That is my question. Like, if you had to, I don't know, if you had to like rank them, what would you do for? And you can put TVS in there. How would you rank the servers? Not just based off players, but just like the game, players, of course, too, community, etc.
Well, I'm not going to put Tooniversal in there. I don't want to put Tooniversal, even though I'm not really working with it as much anymore. I don't want to put Tooniversal there. I kind of feel like that's just self-promoting or self kind of putting it there. So I don't want to do that. But I will say, I kind of think, as far as like TTR, I kind of think that's one of those things. You'll have that nostalgic kind of thing, and the community isn't nearly as bad. Corporate Class, I definitely think it has more of its. I love just the new ideas. It's almost like a brand new game.
Yeah, it is.
But I kind of think the players on there aren't. I guess you could say as friendly as TTR, because at TTR, and another thing I have to put in perspective is the amount of players. At TTR, if I wanted to play Toontown Rewritten at like 3 in the morning, there'd be some players on there. I'd meet a lot of, there's a lot of like nice people and the CFO and just doing buildings and helping you task and everything. At 3 o'clock in the morning, you most likely won't get anybody on Corporate Class. And if you do, usually they're pretty much to themselves, kind of don't want to seem like they help. And I'm not saying that, come on, I haven't played Corporate Clash probably in over 5 to 6 months now. TTR, it's probably been about whenever I leave my last video, like a month or two. And it's one of those things. I kind of would put TTR a little bit over Corporate Class, and it's just because I think it's just more. I don't want. I sometimes when I go in Corporate Clash, I see the population. And I'm like, it doesn't seem like there's that many people on. Is what they say. But when you go in TTR, it seems like there's just more people everywhere. It's almost like Toontown Online. When you go online, you see all these people around, and if you needed help, you can ask around. And there's like Toon HQs more active and everything like that. I just think Corporate Class. I think if it had more players, I definitely think it's something that would I can equal out to TR. But it was just But as far as features, obviously Corporate. But as far as just me just playing something, I just think TTR would kind of be more of a over Corporate Clash. But that's just me.
What do you think has the most toxic? So you'd say the most toxic community would be Clash over Rewritten?
Sorry, you cut out a little bit.
Oh, so would you say that Rewritten has or rewritten or Clash is more toxic? Or you could even put in Tooniversal. What would you say has the most toxic fans and or players?
Uh, see, I don't want to. See, I don't know if I want to answer that because it's because I don't want to seem like I'm pointing something and saying, "Oh my god," because I feel like if I point at something, it'll be like, "Oh my god, well, this person's obviously blah blah blah," and I can't really. I don't really want. I don't know if I want to answer that. It's not that. It's not that I have an answer because I really don't. But if I had to choose, I don't know if I really want to say that because I don't want to seem like I'm pointing fingers at servers and saying, "Oh my God, your players are toxic" and all that. Because I don't want to be that kind of person. Because I really want to support all the servers out there. But even if I had an answer, I couldn't tell you off the top of my head.
Okay, fair enough. And you said that you're gonna have bowling soon, correct? You said it's being worked on as we speak. Bowling will be out
Yeah.
soon.
Yep.
And how is that gonna work? Are you gonna have like how would you even make bowling work on Toontown?
Well, I
Explain
guess
that to me.
it's almost like golfing and racing. You kind of create like the physics about it and try to make the just the tune with the animation, the modeling, and everything like that. It's definitely not something you could just say, okay, here it is. Let's slap on some code, slap on some artwork, and call it a day. It's modeling because you have to figure you're pretty much creating like a not I'd say a new game, but you're creating like a mini game where Disney never probably thought of that. And if Disney would have thought of that, it's not something that's been implemented in the game. So it's brand new code, brand new sort of like artwork, modeling, animations, the whole nine yards. And then you got to deal with making sure that the servers are not going to crash 100 times. And it's definitely not something that's just as easy as just coding it, putting a couple artwork on it, and calling it a day. Unfortunately, if it was that easy, I think a lot of servers, it wouldn't just be us. It would be just kind of just creating all different kind of mini games like soccer and baseball, and there's a lot of game ideas that I had for Tooniversal, and I mean, and we can only really say what the future holds. And I don't want people to say, "Oh my God, I'm leaving Tooniversal. I'm never coming back." Maybe in a couple years when my daughter starts growing up, and maybe you never know. You never know. And I mean, I can't really say 100%, and I'm not going to say yes or no, but I said maybe what the future holds if Toontown's still around and Tooniversal still wants my help and they want me to kind of help out and the community's still going. I mean, sure, maybe if I have some time, I can, do it. But, as of right now, it's just more of a thing of, I can't. But as far as bowling, it's more of that kind of, it's more of a complex sort of, thing. It's kind of like almost like the Kage Cheese. You got to make all different kinds of things, but at the same time, I think mini games are a little bit more just because I'm more involved with it. But like I said, it's something that it's definitely been worked on. It's been, yeah, I will have. It's been kind of taking a break, focusing on bug fixes and focusing on other things, and then going back to that. But it's definitely been something that's been picking up right now. I can't comment too much, but I will say right now it's definitely something that might be coming in within the next update or two.
Well, I can't wait to try it out. Hopefully, I get a little heads up when it's about to come out so I can have that day clear.
I
But
think we can work it out.
I hope so. But that is it for me. I have no more questions for you. Do you have anything else that you want to say or get off your chest or talk about?
No, that was about it. I mean, thank you obviously for having me on. And again, this video, I guess podcast, but this wasn't. I don't want anybody to think like, hey, Tooniversal's a horrible server, or TBR's a horrible server, or Corporate Class, or this community is horrible. Like, the community has come so long. I know me and Pizza were kind of acting like we were talking bad the whole time. You have to admit, at the end of the day, Toontown has come so far. I mean, that really just says a lot right there. I think it has a lot of great potential. Otherwise, I don't even think we'd be doing this video right now. I think it's just kind of a thing to be like, oh, Broadway left, whatever. But I kind of think it's more of those things. I think Toontown has come so far. There's been so many things that have been discovered from previous even people that worked on Toontown, Jesse Shell and everything. And I just think it has a lot of great things out of it. I mean, it's if it wasn't for Toontown Rewritten wouldn't exist. I mean, Tooniversal wouldn't exist. None of these games, or I guess private servers and these ideas and hell, even me and people, I don't know what that would have been. So Toontown definitely brought a lot together. It's just I think we really need to work on trying to making the community work and not trying to make it go downwards and just be saying, oh, okay, it's going to die anyway, so why does it matter? You gotta put some positivity in it and try to get the community more stronger. Is the community stronger? I think it can really grow because it has been. I mean, or not has been, but it had in the past per se, and I definitely think it has potential. But I guess we'll see what the future holds.
Well, then that is it. Again, thank you for coming to the podcast, sitting down with me, and dropping all the stuff about Tooniversal and everything that was going on, and clearing it up for people who didn't know. I know a lot of people were curious, and if that's all you got to say, then thank you for coming again, my boy.
Yeah, hopefully talk to you soon.
Yes, sir. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe. It's your boy Pizza Maker 8000.